Have you ever played spades?
I have.
Are you good at it?
I haven't played it in a long time. I was very competitive, but now I don't remember how to play it.
I got yelled at by an ex-boyfriend when I was playing, and it stopped me forever.
That's why y'all broke up.
Stopped me dead in my tracks.
People get way too serious. I think the more I grew up, I was like, people take this way too seriously. I can't. I don't want to participate. They took it seriously, but I was younger, so they still, gave me slack. But I haven't played it in my late 20s. I mean, since my late 20s.
Okay. I was like, yeah, because what are you, 28?
Yeah. Hey, you know, stop.
Yeah. Stop, girl. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It Takes a Village. I'm your host, Delina Medhin, and this is an incredible episode with the Issa Rae. You may also know her as President Barbie, as Spider-Woman. She has been very, very iconic over the years. She has done some incredible stuff, and I have known her and have worked with her for a while, and it's just been such a special relationship. I really value her as a person, but also as a businesswoman. I mean, of my generation, she is iconic, and she's done so much for the community, and she continues to give back, and I feel like that is one of the most amazing things. I was thinking, okay, what do you focus on when someone has such a big presence and has so many different things that they've done? And she's an actress, she's also a producer, she's directed, she has a media company, she has a music company, she has restaurants, we've got radio, HOORAE Media, we've got Hilltop Coffee Shops, we've got Somerville, which is the new restaurant, we've got Sienna Naturals, which is a hair care brand, Color Creative, which is the management company. There are so many different things that we could have talked about. We had an hour. So we did what we always do. We kept it super conversational. We talked, we laughed, we had a really good time. In this specific episode, we focus on a lot of her being an investor and her being a producer. Having her first studio film, One of Them Days, coming out with her production company, HOORAE. Honestly, I feel like this is a different interview than exists out there with Issa. So I'm so excited for you all to dive into it and for you to see it. 3 things before I go. Number 1, if you love this episode, please share it with a friend. Number 2, head over to delinamedhin.com, DELINA Medhin, MEDHIN.com, and sign up for my newsletter. And number 3, what's number 3? Number 3 is leave us a review. Leave us a review or leave us a comment. Okay. I love you. With that, let's get into this episode. Issa Rae.
Hey!
Welcome to It Takes a Village.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. This is like a dream interview for me.
Oh, stop it.
No, I swear. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, no lie.
Well, I hope I live up to it. I hope it doesn't become a nightmare.
No. It'll be good. I wanted to ask you something. Mm-hmm. When we were working together on the photograph and I was that was such a good.
It was.
That was such a
really
good film.
was just all around.
Wasn't it?
It was a good experience generally, and it was fun, and you made me beautiful. So.
Hey, why am I smiling? I'm like, I look like a cartoon character. I'm like, yeah. But one thing I remember about that is that every day you would come in, you would always be in a good mood.
Really?
Girl, why you sound surprised?
Because it was like early morning.
Yeah, like you'd be like, hey, everybody, good morning, what's up? Like, do you get that from your mom or your dad?
Oh, really? Wow. Everybody's generally in a good mood. Everybody's generally happy. And I do wake up happy, but I've been told that I don't present that way. Like, I'm one of those people that gets a smile queen. And I definitely have a resting big face, but I am generally always happy.
Yeah, I feel like it. Or even would also be
even for sure
would be a good answer.
It's when I'm upset, it's always related to I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Or or tired.
That's true. There were a couple moments in there where you were like, hey, when we gonna eat?
Let me tell you, if my food isn't right or on time or whatever, that's my biggest pressure point, my biggest trigger point, I should say.
Me too. What about sleep? Normally people say it's either food or sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
Sleep
yeah,
too?
when I'm tired. But I'm usually it really is that. If it accumulates, because I don't need that much sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 5 to 6 hours, I'm good.
That's it?
I'm good as long as I get the full 5 to 6 hours. But if it's less than that, which happens sometimes, then I'm like, forget about it.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Okay, what's your personality like if you do that?
Haven't you seen? I feel like you've seen it. I just don't talk. I just don't want, I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, but to me that was good mood.
So for you, people not talking is like, cool, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, like it's like because you're just like, hey, everybody, what's going on? But then you're also
But that's
like,
what I'll leave it. I'll never be rude. Like,
yeah.
We're raised Senegalese, you say hi to everybody. You walk in a room, you say you have to acknowledge everybody, and then I'm done. Like that's the baseline of just like make people feel good. But no, I just get quiet and I don't partake in conversations.
Okay.
You know, like people can talk around me, all that, but I don't feel like it, you know?
Yeah, I get
Didn't you?
My sister's like that.
Okay.
Maybe that's why I feel comfortable.
You're always also in a, what am I talking about? You're always in a good mood. I feel like I've seen you one time and I was like, oh, she's like.
Wait, when was that?
I don't know. Something had happened. I think somebody has you fucked up, honestly. And that's the
yeah.
only
Yeah, that makes sense. Because it goes quick. It like flips like a little pancake.
I was like,
I'm chilling. And then, yeah.
And they're obviously wrong because I'm like, to upset you, you have to be in the wrong, you know?
Yeah. It's normally when somebody does something that's like kind of rude or mean, you know? I guess that would be why anybody would be upset.
No, some people could like let it roll off. And I'm like, there's certain limits that I have where I'm like, okay, if you're in a mood yourself, fine. Like, I'm not gonna hold that against you. But if you're like that way to other people, then
it's a whole thing.
That's not great.
Yeah, that's true. Mom and dad. How did they meet? You got Louisiana and you got Senegal? Like,
yeah.
And where in Louisiana?
My mom was from New Orleans.
Okay.
She was born in New Orleans.
I love
but she's
city.
really an LA girl. It's the best city.
We
love food.
It's great.
And then my dad is from Senegal, but they met in France. My mom was studying abroad, and I just learned why my mom was studying abroad. I thought that she was like passionate about learning French, and she was just like, no, I didn't know what I was doing, and I saw somebody speaking French, and I was like, okay, let me study abroad and go to France. And she studied at Sorbonne, and he was out there, and they met and hit it off very quickly. Yeah. And that was that. Kinda. She had a man.
Wait, get into it.
My mom had a man. Listen, literally, I just found out the real story of my parents meeting in May. And I thought it was this one thing, and I learned so much more than I ever wanted to know that I can't share on this podcast. But it was just like, oh, my mom is kind of a bird.
Wait,
high key.
No, we're not gonna disrespect your mom here.
Respectfully, but
respectfully,
real recognize real. But no, they hit it off, and she had a man, and they were long distance because he went back to Senegal, she went back to LA, but she couldn't stop thinking about him, and they wrote each other letters. And
that's beautiful.
Her man was kind of also stepping out too, so it was like he came at the right time, and they had a very exhilarating back and forth.
That's cool. So wait, did she, because you grew up, you were born in LA, then you went to Senegal.
I was born in LA.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in the late 80s, early 90s, they moved. My mom, they were ready to get out of LA because there was a lot of violence around. She had 2 older sons, my older brother, and she was scared about them just getting wrapped up, and she was just kind of done. So we moved to Senegal thinking we were going to stay there forever. And then we lasted like 2 years, and my dad got like,
he was like,
well, he tried to start a hospital, and they took all his money. Like, he got scammed.
African
and so
stuff. They take your house. They'll be like, hey, this is ours.
No, I promise this is going to the hospital. And so, that was a wrap for him. And so he lost everything. And my mom still didn't want to go back to LA. She was like, it's still dangerous out there.
Is she fluent? Is she fluent in French?
She is fluent. She's a French teacher.
Okay.
And yeah, she's super fluent.
Were y'all in Dakar?
We were in Dakar.
Have you been to Dakar?
Wait, when?
Man, I went in like 2022. My friend was like
Recently.
traveling. Yeah, she was traveling the world and she was doing her thing. And then she met a man in Senegal and she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna just stay."
It be's like that.
No,
they have a
fine.
little. They're very fine. The skin is immaculate.
Beautiful.
The teeth are beautiful.
Abs.
And
everybody has abs.
Everybody has abs because they run on the beach. They just are born athletic. A lot of my cousins, I'm like, how you don't even work out? Yeah, like give it to me.
Yeah.
But I understand. What did you think?
I loved it. It kind of has a vibe of LA a little bit to me.
Interesting.
Like in the sense of like it's kind of beachy. Everybody likes to work out. Everybody's outdoorsy. You know? Like, the outdoor gym?
Yes.
The big outdoor.
Venice Beach in Senegal. I can
it's
see
giving
that.
And then, but people like to party.
I
couldn't keep up.
Oh my God.
I couldn't keep up.
Neither could I.
I was like, y'all are going out at 1? 2?
That's when it starts. I mean, me and my little brother were just talking about that because we took a trip as a family 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he used to hate Senegal because, being there, he was bored. He was like, none of these girls are my type. I was like, you're anti-Black. But he went the last time. We showed up at a club at like 11 and they were laughing. It was empty. We were the first ones for 2 hours. And it didn't get popping until like 3. And by that time, I had to leave.
You're like, I gotta go.
I can't do this.
I know I can't.
It's too late. And then they sleep in until... No, some of them still be waking up early. I'm like, how do you live this life?
That's not for me.
But more power to them.
Yeah. But you go out a lot too. I mean, you host parties. You host parties.
That.
Okay. You host parties.
I on my time.
Okay, so you get there when you want to get there, and then you leave when you want to leave.
Yes, and it's still like I know that I'm gonna like everybody who's there.
Yeah. And
I usually like house parties or that's LA culture.
That's true.
And I'm very curious how you've adapted.
Yeah,
because I've been like, girl, come.
Yeah, no, you really have. Like every time you see me, like, you moving yet? I'll be like, I'm not moving yet.
And it's literally been. Is this the first time I'm seeing you all year?
No, it's actually crazy because you were like, yeah, like you should move, and then it's been like 8, 9 months maybe since I've been here. But
hey girl.
How's it? I feel like you're like me though. Like if you have to do something and it's like work related, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, let's link. But if it's like pleasure, it's a little harder to like coordinate
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So it's like I just need to find something that we can work on together.
No, or come to a party.
That's
come
it.
To a little get up.
You know where I told you was your Via Ray launch party.
That's right.
Yeah, and you put 2 hands up.
I did. I was so excited because it was so unexpected.
Yeah, I was like, I'm moving to LA.
I thought you were going to be NY till you die because you said I'm NY till I die.
I did. I was like, I'm not moving to LA.
What was the switch? I feel like I asked you at the Via Ray thing, but I might have been tipsy.
I decided to move because I needed space. I needed space and I needed sun. And I didn't realize how much I was affected. But you lived in New York too.
Oh, yeah. No.
What was it, 2 years?
I did.
Yeah.
But I was like significantly younger and broker. And
that's fair.
I was trying to figure out what direction my life was gonna take.
Mm-hmm.
But mine was moving back because of contacts. And then it was like everybody knew it was in LA. And then when I got here, I was like, I actually do really love this city.
Yeah. And then how soon after you got burglarized did you move?
Have to bring that up. I still stayed another year. I was
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's how New York is, though. It's like, I'm strong. I could do it.
Yeah, and that's literally
it's not gonna
that's
take me
stupid.
out. You think you're just gonna take my stuff and I'm gonna leave? No.
Exactly. I didn't want it to feel like it had won. You know, and it's still like a fun, magical city.
It is.
But
it's beautiful.
I would never live there again.
Never have a house there.
A house? Can you?
Or like if you were to say, okay, I'm gonna get like a penthouse or something there, or like an apartment there that's like kind of out the way a little bit.
I thought about that. It doesn't economically make sense to have that little space. But then it also doesn't economically make sense to get a hotel whenever I'm out there. I hate Airbnbs, so I'll never do that. But like, do
you?
I don't like Airbnb because I don't like to clean.
Oh, right.
Why would I pay you to?
So if they added a cleaning service to it, then you might do it?
No, because I have to know the cleaning service. At least hotels have standards of cleanliness.
Yeah. And they got safes, which is nice. That's the one thing I don't like about. I'll be leaving the room like putting all my stuff in the suitcase, locking it. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
That's what I'm saying. The owners can come in at any time. They can put cameras anywhere.
Yeah.
Hotel, they don't care about you. Like, they don't care about your business.
No.
Airbnb owners are kind of invested in how you leave their place
That's
in a
fair.
way. And so that's why I'm like, it's just not. If I have to, I'll do it.
Yeah.
When other people have parties, I'll do it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You have a lot of businesses. Like a lot. Like you have your own, but then you have the ones that you invest in.
Mm-hmm.
But you've been doing all this also while you've been literally in so many movies.
In so many movies?
Yeah, girl, you've been in a lot. I mean, you've been President Barbie.
That was fun. Yeah, it's all like it's not like I'm like every day.
How do you mean that? Thank you. Yeah, good. It was a leading question, so please go there. Go there.
Yeah, so it takes a village.
Yeah,
it's like,
I like that. Hey, look at us.
It's honestly, I've been blessed on this journey to literally find people along the way that helped me expand into the lanes that I want to go in. So even like I got lucky on the outside. One of my first bigger collaborations in a business was like working with AJ and Yoni, who run Hilltop. And I remember wanting a coffee shop for a really long time, talking to my business manager. Shout out to Humble.
Yeah.
Who is from Uganda, like met him on such a random encounter. And
how'd y'all meet?
I met him through, I'll call him an angel. Don't even remember how I originally met this guy. His name is Adam. And he saw me during my Awkward Black Girl days.
Okay.
And he was just like, you're going to need a business manager. And I was like, I have no business. I don't even have money. Like, so.
You like, what they manage?
And I'm sorry. Yeah, what are they managing? Like, my personal business? I got a lot of that.
Yeah.
But he was just like, you're going to need one. And he introduced me to Humble. And Humble, I was also very transparent. I was just like, hey, I don't know why we're meeting. I hope this is not a waste of your time. We met at South Beverly Grill. And I was like, this is so I don't know if you've been there.
No, I haven't.
Oh my
gosh.
It nice? It's on one of them the fancy streets, but it's in Beverly Hills.
Okay.
And it's like, it's kind of like an elevated cheesecake factory. It's good.
It sounds really nice. Sounds like I need to make plans immediately.
So we met there, and I heard his story, and he has such an incredible, incredible story, and he's so smart. And he was kind of he wasn't just starting his business, but he was mostly working with people in sports at the time.
Okay.
And like his sense of loyalty and faith in some of the athletes that he was working with really inspired me. And so I left thinking like, I'm not ready for you, but when I am, like, I'm gonna hit you up. And he was completely patient and still was helpful along the way. And so I eventually made him my business manager the second season of ABG when I got like, I started working with Pharrell's company. And by that time we had done a Kickstarter and I was touring and I was like, I had an income and I was trying to get out of debt. And so like he was the first step of just like, okay, I'm official. I was always bad at money, period. Like I couldn't save. I was in constant credit card debt, all that. And so he was really helpful in terms of helping me manage my finances. And I also didn't know how much money was a lot of money. So when I started making any kind of income, I was like, ooh, I got 4 figures. What? And then it was like, what? I got 5 figures. Let me buy a house. And he was like, calm down. You're not there yet. So throughout that process, I was like, well, one of the first businesses that I want to invest in or start up is a coffee shop. And he was like, I'm going to make that happen for you. And years would go by. Like I got a book deal and I was like, well, I don't have a coffee shop. And then I was like, Insecure came and I was like, what's up with this coffee shop? And he was like, girl, who's going to grind the beans? And so I was like, oh, shoot. And so he found me AJ and Yoni, who had started a coffee shop in my neighborhood down the street from me.
And they're Habesha, right?
Yoni is Habesha. Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all are everywhere. Everywhere.
We are everywhere.
And they had started it down the street from me and it was beautiful. And then we're starting an Inglewood location. And we're like, you know, if you want to come on board. And we like dated. Because I didn't also, I had tried to link with another coffee shop owner. And they were just like, oh, we kind of started this and we don't want your name to like overshadow it. Okay. And I was like, I get that. Like, if you had started a business and
they didn't want to call it Issa's
Coffee. Yeah. And I didn't want to call it that either.
Yeah.
But I was like bummed and it was in Inglewood. But I was like, I get that. Like, they made it happen this far and here I come like slapping my name on it. So for them, with AJ and Yoni, I was like, I just want to be clear. Like, I want to be supportive and like, I'll be as involved or as little involved as you want me to. And they were like, no, we want we want you to blow it up. And so they're so egoless and it's been such a pleasure to work with them and to expand with them. And that has led to so many other different ventures. But they have such a great union because AJ, they're both from LA. They're both from, South LA, View Park, Windsor Hills. And they have such a great collaborative partnership where Yoni is more operations and he's more like kind of on the ground. The day-to-day of every business and he might be grinding the beans. Like I see him serving plates at times and he's just like really into the business side. And AJ knows everybody and he's such a brand expert. Like he can just come up with a brand curation on the spot and is really good about experiences and just has such a love for like the cultural history of anything that he puts forth, and just does a lot of research, and just he's like an artist.
Yeah.
And so they work really well together. They're yin yang. They know how to stay out of each other's way, and it's really great to witness. And here I come like, hey, I'm down.
Hey, I'm ready.
Yeah. When are we opening this? What's happening?
Yeah.
But no, it's just been really great, and we all have our different strengths, and I'm blessed to work with them.
That's really cool. Was there like, if somebody is looking to invest in something, what are you looking for? Are there qualities in the person in addition to the skills that they have?
Yeah, I mean, you have to believe in them. For like I said, we dated, a little bit, and that was
what does that look like?
It was like meeting at the coffee shop, getting to know each other. I think we had one initial meeting where we got to know each other, and then a second one where it's like, okay, what does this look like? And then it's, of course, doing your research on the business, doing your research on what their values are. Because for me, if there had been conversations about like, I don't know, if they didn't align with serving the community and making sure that we're employing from the neighborhood, and the fact that they were from there, there's certain values that you want to be on the same page about.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to make y'all look bad, but I don't want y'all to make me look bad. I don't want to make sure like who you're hiring and the actions, and that there's an integrity to the way that you run their business. And it was just so evident in meeting them, and even seeing the history. Like they've AJ with his hashtag lunch bag, like they've been serving the community for such a long time, and that's such an
important thing.
It's an important factor for them.
I agree with that. I want to go back to Awkward Black Girl for a second, because that's when I first found out about you.
You did know. Yes, that's right.
I did know
remember.
about you.
Yes.
You know, I went back and watched the first episode. Do you know it's only 3 minutes and 41 seconds?
Yeah, that was intentional.
In my mind, that episode was like 30 minutes long.
I don't know if that's a compliment or insult.
No, it's great. No, but I remember feeling. By the way, it's still good. It still holds up. It still holds up. And I was looking at it, and I was like, this was so good. I remember you had us all being like, y'all know about this new episode coming out?
That's crazy.
And I was living in North Carolina at the time.
Oh.
And I went up to see my friends in D.C. And I still remember having a conversation. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, she's like me, because I had cut my hair too. I was like, she's like me. I was like, this feels so, like, I don't know what it was. It was like, I don't think I had ever really seen like a Black college girl that was like, you know what I mean? Because you had like this, like, your background wasn't like, you know what I mean? There was like so many stereotypical things that you would see online or, well, not really online, on TV at that point.
Yeah.
But I hadn't seen me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow. So like, it was huge for me and for my friends, like incredible.
Yeah, if I had known, even still hearing that, it's bewildering to me, because it was, knowing how it was made, knowing how, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm going to be like, this is clearly divine, and it's God, and it's just like the timing of certain things, because I was so scared to put it out, and to hear about, that effect that people saw themselves when I was like so insecure about just even putting my face and myself out there.
And it wasn't even supposed to be you. It was supposed to be somebody else.
Yeah, and I was like,
does she act now?
She doesn't, no, but she doesn't act. Like, she might do it for fun. She's a lawyer.
Yeah,
she's a lawyer. She has her own company. She does estate planning. Shout out Keisha. If you ever need estate planning, she got you.
She in DC?
She's in DC.
Okay. Everybody hit up Keisha.
Yes. Dang, everything. But yes, I just saw her. She has 2 kids, beautiful daughters.
Yeah.
But thank you, Keisha, for saying no.
Thank you, Keisha. When I we spoke a lot when we were on the photograph, and I remember you saying like, you were kind of like an accidental actress. Like, you wanted to be a director.
I did. I wanted to be a director writer.
I was acting in high school. How do you feel about that now? Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was acting in high school, and I thought I wanted to be an actress till I got to college.
Okay.
And there was just nothing for me. And then I was
because it was Stanford, and they didn't have a program.
Yes, and there weren't a lot of Black people. I was spoiled. I went to like a predominantly Black high school, so everything was catered to us. And then at Stanford, it was predominantly white. The drama, I was like, oh, this is like real theater, and I don't like musicals, and I don't like. This.
Like, I want to do my own stuff.
Yeah, and I want to do stuff that features us and centers us, and that just wasn't realistic.
You wanted to be in Love and Basketball?
For the stage, if they had a stage edition of Love and Basketball,
it would
I'd
have been a
be
wrap.
all over that. But no, to answer your question, like, I don't want to direct now. There's sometimes,
Okay.
like, I produce and I love producing. I creative produce, and to me, that is a form of directing without actually having to
What's
like
the difference? What's creative producing?
Creative producing is from the development stage to post-production. So like it's finding a script, it's putting it together, it's making sure the script is in shape, it's finding a home for it, whether that's independent or like the indie financing or with the studio. It's seeing the project from start to finish. Then being on set every day, helping to make creative decisions, helping to make those hires beyond the director. So like whether it's the assistant director, whether it's the costume designer, some of the makeup artists, like the heads, like you're making so many of the decisions behind the project itself, and it's a lot of work. But you feel like, this is your project. You're curating and cultivating what the project is going to be, and of course, the director also has a say in all of those things as well. But
okay, I saw you did something with you did like an interview with Keke Palmer. She mentioned how you were like, for one of them days, you were kind of like, you were there and you would have notes and you would, so is that kind of, are you co-directing? Is that part of being a creative producer? What is that?
Yeah, giving notes, but definitely not co-directing.
Okay.
I would say, that's part of being a producer. That's part of being a creative producer. There's some producers that are more like physical, and I'll use Denise as an example, but she's also a creative producer. But like on this particular project, she was like a physical producer. Denise Davis, who, we used to work with and who I came up with, she puts out a lot of fires. She's like kind of like the boss of the set, if that makes sense. And there are producers that are like, every problem that happens, that's you. And that's not my
that's not how you do it?
That's not my producing. Okay. So like my creative producing is more like this affects the story. And there's some fires that I might put out with relationships, but it all depends. And some people are both. Some people are dealing with like, I'm the boss of this set and I'm also giving the director notes. I'm also giving notes on the script, so there are new revisions.
Yeah.
Mine was more like I'm giving, I'm pitching jokes. I'm putting, I was doing script suggestions, making sure certain scenes make sense, making sure that, there's like this shot or like the setups that we're getting, like, do they make sense? And, looking at actors' performances and stepping in that way. So it's really just making sure what you see on screen is what I want to see on screen.
Yeah. With HOORAE Media, you've done Rap Shit, Insecure, and you also did a Black Lady sketch show. But this is the first studio film,
this
right?
This is our first movie.
That's
our
huge.
First scripted movie.
How do you feel? Because Kiki's been attached to it for a minute.
Well, she's been attached for like 5-6 years.
Wow.
I feel amazing that it's happening. For our first movie to be in theaters, it's kind of unheard of, especially being a comedy, because they're just not making them. And now we're here, and like it just feels like everything that can go wrong is going wrong. Like LA is on fire, you know, so that means, which is obviously terrible. And this is a city that I love, and I hate that people are displaced. And it's just like, we literally have to go through hell to get this out, and in such a devastating time. And it also doesn't even feel right promoting a movie when the city is on fire. And so like that's an example of like of a hurdle that you have to overcome. So like it's gonna have expectations to still perform really well, and it is featuring Black leads, 2 female Black leads. And if it doesn't do well, people are going to be like, well, that didn't work. We're not going to do that again. And that's like the unfair pressure that we face.
You got a great cast.
We do.
And it's a really good cast. I saw Cat Williams in there. I was like, oh man.
My gosh. Everybody came through and they all do their thing. And it's really, really fucking funny. And it's just like, you don't get to have these movies in theaters anymore. And we kind of have to prove why we want them.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Okay, so this is SZA's first movie.
This is SZA's acting
Debut?
Yes. Her feature acting debut, because she was in Insecure. I'm going to take credit for both her TV and film acting debut.
So she owes everything to you.
Your words, not mine.
Okay, so how was that? Like, I mean, was there like an audition process, or are you just like, no, it has to be her?
You know, we met with some amazing actresses, but the studio was just like, we need like someone that's huge and undeniable for us to get to the theaters. And they were like, naming pop stars, some that didn't fit at all. Okay. And then they mentioned SZA, and I was like, this is interesting. I don't know if she'd do this. But if she would, it'd be great. So the studio suggested her.
Wow.
And I was like, I wonder if she'll even be down to audition. And she was just, and to hear her tell it, she was just like, I saw that you and Kiki were involved. And I was like, yeah, I didn't read the script. I didn't do nothing. I just showed up. And they had immediate chemistry. She was so good in the chemistry reads. And it was magical. So when she trusts herself, like she's phenomenal.
So were you there every day?
Yeah, maybe minus like one or two.
Yeah, you were like in it.
I was in it.
How was your energy while you were creating it? Like, were you like were you on nerves and like all that, or was it just kind of like, man, I'm so excited to be doing this? Like, walk me through how you felt.
It was exciting, except for, you know, they're also in studio films. You have to have like these big set pieces. That's also the formula of making movies. Sometimes they'll be like, okay, this word theatrical, which I hate. What's gonna make people want to go to the theater to see this in terms of like what you're gonna see on screen? So having these big, crazy, stunty set pieces. And so the original script, which was written by Sarita Singleton, who I freaking love and is one of the funniest writers ever, was a bit more grounded. And so there was one set piece that was added, and that was the only time on set where I was like, this is not my favorite scene. And I had to leave early that day because I think I had to catch a flight.
Okay.
And seeing it and not being there pissed me off.
You got on the plane like, give me my bag.
When I saw it later, I was like, I should have figured it out. I should have been there. But, you know, now, like, in the movie, I think it plays well. But there's, like, for the most part, I was super excited to be there. But there's some battles that you win and some battles that you lose. And I'm really proud of the whole thing at the end of the day. But that's something that I had to learn. When it's not your shit. Yeah. When you're not, like, I'm not the director. Yeah. I'm not the writer. And, I have a lot of say. And, you know, it's collaborative and people will listen. But my word isn't the final word. And unless I want to be a dictator, which I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really give dictator though, but you don't mess up. How do you get into a creative headspace? Like, do you have a process?
Girl.
Yeah,
I finally discovered my sweet spot of time, because I'm a procrastinator and I just know that about myself. Okay. And if I need a good 3.5 days to be on a roll. Okay. So, like, that first day when I know that I have a junk, and obviously, like, 3.5 days at least. So, like, when I'm first starting, I know I'm going to procrastinate. That's just it. I'm going to find all the reasons why it's hard and justify, like, well, taking a walk or going out to eat, that's all helping the creative process. And it really is. It is.
You like, and you know, I get my favorite sandwich.
Yeah. While I'm chewing, you're like processing it. Yeah. And like all of those things I have to accept and not beat myself up about the fact that I did not do anything all day. Okay. And then that next day, especially if I know I only have 3.5 days, then I'm like, okay, I got to make up for the next day. And I will force myself to sit down. I like to freehand, like sitting in front of a computer. Right.
Oh, wow. Okay,
sitting in front of a computer is
I like that too.
Intimidating thing, because also when you write things down, like it doesn't feel as permanent and there's not as much pressure. Yeah. You write things.
I like to write. I journal a lot. And I always, like, even now, like when I'm talking to you, like when I prepared. That's me. I start writing and I, like, you know, I can put my maps out and all that.
Yours is very neat. It's like really organized. Do you have an ugly page?
I got a couple.
Okay. I just needed to know for myself. Yeah, there's always a page where you like have to allow it to
I knew
be
this
ugly.
might, show, so had to clean it up a little bit.
Same. So yeah, like that, it feels like a lost form to me, and it makes me one with the process. And then by that third day, when I know that deadline, anytime I know a deadline is up, that's when I cook.
Okay. That's when you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you do all night, or you're like, then you start to really space it out?
I tell myself I'm gonna do all night,
Okay.
but then I inevitably fall asleep, and then I wake up very early. Like I might be like,
what does your morning routine look like?
Do
you have one?
Yes.
Okay, what does it look
like? I swear
like?
by it.
Yeah.
4 a.m. wake up, work out for like an hour and a half, make coffee, sit, meditate. Sometimes I'll journal for sure every morning, and then sometimes I will listen to the news.
Okay.
Podcast.
Yeah. How long is the meditation for? Is it guided?
The meditation is
silent?
just drinking coffee, and it's not real meditation. It's like my meditation. I can't sit still.
Yeah, okay. What? Wait, hold on. You are like the stillest person I've ever done makeup for. Like you don't move.
Yeah, but I mean like not, I can't, okay.
Like you daydream a lot.
I do.
I know. Which I actually appreciate. I'm like, yes, girl, please keep thinking about that. I'm like, let me just close your eyes for a second.
That's a compliment. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I look at my phone and I feel like y'all hate that.
We do?
Yes. I try to look at it like this, and this doesn't help.
I'll be like, just put it up here. If you're going to do it, just put it up here.
You're very patient.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess I can't sit still just with my... I don't like meditating. Whatever that is,
right?
I don't like it. Because they're like, erase all your thoughts. And that way, I'm just like, I like my thoughts. I like to sit in them. And I don't want to be separated from them.
Bothered. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to be bothered with silence. Because honestly, I'm going to get really dark. Anytime there's silence, death. Like, I immediately go to
wow.
Have you heard that thing where it's like,
nope.
we've...
Tell me.
that everything that we've created is just kind of a distraction for death.
Oh.
Like the fact we've invented all of these things just to not think about dying.
Yeah, I do think about
I saw a tweet a long time ago that was like, every time my mind goes to death, I'm so grateful for the TV. And I'm like, that makes sense. That's why TV was made.
Yeah, you're like, I get it.
So yeah, that's why I hate meditation.
Okay, so meditation, which is a coffee, like it's just
coffee,
a moment for yourself.
Listening to news. Okay. Yes, sitting in the dark on a couch. Sometimes I light a candle, and that's what I do. And sometimes journaling, and then I'll go to the office or do whatever I'm supposed to do that day. I have like regimented days and meeting days and then writing days.
That's great. 4 a.m. always.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, weekends.
Yeah.
No, I might do a little.
You might switch it up a little bit, like 5.
I try to do 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big swing.
Yeah, but I wake up.
So,
But no,
so
yes.
Really, you're trying to sound relatable right now? You're like, yeah. Y'all waking up at 7.
No.
Yeah, okay.
If I go out, like,
fair.
Friday or Saturday, I'm not going to wake up.
Okay.
What's yours?
I started waking up at 4 too.
Yes! Come on! What do you think?
Let's do it. I love it. It's the most quiet.
Well, you're also East Coast, so I feel like you'd have had a lot of anxiety coming from
I did.
New York to here. You're like, I'm behind.
No, totally. But then I realized that nobody in LA feels that way. They're like,
no, they don't care.
We just wake up whenever we wake
up.
At
10.
But I like it because it's silent. People aren't texting me. No one's bothering me. And I am so creative at those hours.
Yeah.
Like I get right into what I got to do.
You start your work at 4 a.m.?
I very quickly. And then I take a break like around like 7 or 8. And then I start like doing like working out and all that stuff.
Oh my God,
Is it too much?
No, it's chaotic to me, but it works for you.
Yeah.
So literally, you'll wake up, get work done. Oh, and then do your work. It's not like you're dressed.
No. Oh,
okay.
Whoa.
You're not dressed and then working out. No. Okay.
In fact, actually today when I was leaving my apartment, I came downstairs and I was like, I was ready to come here. And this guy was like, whoa, I didn't even recognize you. And I was like, hey.
You can't do that.
So I definitely don't get dressed.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah. Okay, I want to go back into the business thing, the investment thing, because I'm sure people pitch you all the time for stuff. Like they're like, hey, Issa, can you, if somebody were to come to you with like a pitch, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for one, obviously originality, because you'd be surprised. Like, people pitch me stuff that I'm already doing, and I'm like, oh, you didn't research anything about me.
Wow,
or
really?
And that's already a red flag. 2, why me? Is it just because you think I have money? Like, how does this relate to me? And like, how do you think I can help you beyond like the public figureness and the finances? Like, what is it? Why do you think this relates to me? And that shows me that you've thought about it. And also, who are you? What else have you done? Like, how have you shown that you've gotten something else off the ground? Like, why are you a reliable person? Why should I trust you? Because there's some people who have come along and I'm just like, oh, I really, really believe in you because I've seen either something that you've created in the past, or like you're just so unique that I just want to figure out or help you figure out what it is that you need to launch. But a lot of it is also based on vibes. Like I said earlier, it's just like with going back to AJ and Yoni, like sitting down, meeting them, understanding like, oh, you won't ever feel threatened by me and I don't feel like I'm imposing on you guys. Yeah. Like that dynamic is, I think I'm really good at discernment and discerning like who I would vibe with.
And you also, okay, so Sienna Naturals is, by the way, I really like the mousse.
Thank you.
That's like incredible. It works so well to just even pull my hair back so I don't have to use gel.
Yes.
Which is unique. I haven't had that experience before where I can just use a brush and brush my hair back, and it's great. But I wanted to ask you, what is your like first experience with hair?
Oh man.
Do you remember?
You mean like after my mom stopped doing my hair?
Oh wow, tell me about that. How long was she doing your hair for? She stopped last year?
No, because I bring it up because my mom kind of made me hate doing my hair.
Okay, because she just always did it for you?
No, because it hurt. I was so tender-headed and I felt like
oh yeah, you are tender-headed. Even when Felicia combs your hair, she'll be like, I do like this.
Yes. And she be using pins. And I'm like, don't you know, you're tender-headed, Felicia. Like,
I know.
But like, I felt like every time that I would express that I was tender-headed, she would call me that. And I felt like even that's victim blaming. I'm like, you're calling me tender-headed? No, you're hurting me.
That's
it's like,
wild.
Oh, you just tender-headed. No, you're literally hurting me. And so like that was my first relationship with my hair that it was somehow difficult. Yeah. Even though she tried to impress upon me, like, your hair is beautiful, all those things. It didn't matter because I was like, well, then why is it so hard? Why does it hurt?
Yeah.
And so my first experience with my hair was just like, it's difficult to manage. And so I wouldn't do it a lot in terms of like, I would get braids or anything that
I love braids.
They're the best.
They're the best.
They're the best for us.
No, literally.
But everybody can't do it, and they'll pull your hair.
I know.
Sometimes,
I know.
You know what it is. Especially, our people. I'm like, Auntie, like.
Yeah. It's like, why? You don't have to grab that one. It can just stay out.
Like, please.
Those hairs can stay out.
Why you can't be gentle?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my first experience with hair and just the process of dealing with it. And I never knew what products were right for my own hair and what would work for somebody else wouldn't necessarily work for me.
I mean, the reason why I even brought that up is because I think all the businesses you have invested in or you have makes sense for you. Like, I remember when I was at the Issa Rae launch party, I was like, oh, you did a sip for Insecure. Then, of course, it makes sense. You always talk about Prosecco. Boom, you have this. And then the same thing with hair. It's like, you're so well known for hair. You and Felicia have collaborated so much. And then I was like, oh, of course she would make a hair care line. But I have a question. Would you, like, are you ever like, man, I wish I could do like a center part, long, like lace front, bust down. Like, are you ever thinking about doing that?
Maybe for like a part, but for my everyday life, like where I would not be natural hair.
Like glued down.
No.
Okay.
No, that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Also, some people do it really well. A lot of people don't. Some people do it really well. A lot of people do not do wigs well.
I agree.
So, no, I don't want to be one of them. I would probably be on the ladder. A lot of O's in that. Yeah. And I feel like I would be a part of that. It's just like, even
you feel like you'd be a victim?
Yeah, yes. And I feel like I had a wig. Felicia knows I had a wig for little. I had to do that.
Oh, yeah. Y'all told me about that. Because you had just come off a little.
Yeah, and I was scarred. Because I think they wanted to put me in a wig for the photograph. She's over there laughing. They wanted to put me in a wig for the photograph, and I was like, absolutely not. Felicia, you got to figure this out, please. Yeah. And she was like, okay, I might damage your hair. But my hair wasn't damaged. I did have heat.
Damage?
It wasn't heat damage, but my hair wouldn't go back to natural. Is that heat damage?
I don't know. Honestly, I think about that all the time because I'm like, it doesn't feel damaged, but
it's
it just can't get curly.
It won't get curly for a while.
I think they call it heat trained.
Yeah, my hair was trained.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us. Knowing these terms.
Yeah. Scarred for life. So my hair was heat trained for like, I want to say 6 to 7 months. But I'm back now, baby.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, braids help.
Braids do
But we were
help.
like, hey, not too much on the
please,
edges, please.
Don't my crown.
So, wait, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, speaking of edges,
Yeah.
Sienna Naturals does have a new product, the DNA serum that is specifically to strengthen edges, and like that shit.
That's exciting. Is it working?
It works.
Okay.
It works. It's about 4 weeks till you start to see results, but really, I think 8 weeks until like you're really like you have fortified
like regrow
hair.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
listen, that's all the rage right now.
parts.
Everybody's like, hey, have you seen?
Yeah,
have you seen?
high key. And then I have like even I have a patch in the middle that like decide like that's very I'm gonna do what I want. Yeah, like I'm done with you, and it's helped to like regrow that area.
Yeah.
But you have to just be consistent with it. But it's really like a clean product.
And Hannah is your brother's wife.
Yeah.
She's your sister-in-law.
Yes.
So you've known about this product line for a long time before you actually even got involved.
Very long time before it like launched. Yeah.
That feels like the theme. It's like you're kind of like, okay, I'm watching, I'm paying attention, but you're not just like, oh, I'm just gonna get into this.
No.
Yeah.
No, because if it doesn't make sense, that's happened so many times where things will come my way and they might be great, but I can't figure out how to like honestly sell it, and even the idea of selling something sucks. I hate it. I don't want to feel like a salesperson. I want to be like an evangelist where it's like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
And I hope you love it too. And if you love it like as much as I love it, like let's get together and, make something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I liked when you would read the reviews. You used to do that. You used to be like, thanks, Keisha. Keisha said, I love this product. This is my favorite product. You're like, thanks, girl.
It was fun. Everybody loves compliments.
It's so great. And everybody loves a shout out.
Yeah, I hope so.
They're like,
sometimes I would fuck them names up. Sometimes
they were like Pretty Girl 89. Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Yeah. Somerville is new.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't been yet.
Why haven't you been?
I don't know. I saw that it was like kind of booked out. It's not.
You could. It is, but you could be like, hey girl, what's up?
Hey girl, I'm trying. Well, hey, this is me saying that. I'm trying to go. Because that's also owned by the same owners that did Hilltop.
Being able to work with them and collaborate on different ventures.
Yeah.
They started Lost, the Rooftop, which is really exciting, and Somerville actually came about because I wanted
food.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But I remember my origin story was I share a birthday with my best friend. Like we went to high school together, and we've been celebrating our birthday every year. And there was one year, 130-something year, where all we wanted to do was just go out to dinner and then go out to like be around us.
Okay.
And like lounge, because in your 30s you're not like, I'm not about the club life. I like to just sit down, have a seat, drink, and listen to good music. And we went to so many different places that either didn't have us or the music was whack and still didn't have us. But it was just, it infuriated me where I was just like, why is there not like a central spot, a central lounge for us? And so that was another time I went to Humble and I was like, Humble, I want a lounge in my neighborhood. And so at that time, I was probably like a year into the relationship with the Hilltop guys, and that was their focus, and I didn't even think to ask them, but he thought like, he went to them and he was like, hey, Issa want a lounge?
Yeah.
Make that happen. And they were like, AJ was just like, well, what about a restaurant and a restaurant lounge? And so that's how Somerville developed.
That's dope. Oh, I have to tell you one thing before we go.
Yes.
Okay, so my little cousin sent me a text message, like just randomly, and she doesn't even have a phone. Like she has a watch, so she has to like say it into. Have you seen this? The kids now, they have the watches.
That's their phone is a watch?
Yeah, like you
like
can
an
call.
Apple Watch?
Like her dad calls her, and we were in the store together the other day, and she was like, "Dad, what'd you say?"
Wait, so you can get a phone plan for just the watch?
Yeah. They can find her anywhere. It's amazing. So, but she sent me a text message, and she was like, "Hey, I heard you're friends with President Barbie." Isn't that great?
That is honestly the coolest thing ever.
I know.
Where was I just at? Oh, I was in Colombia, and they were like, excuse me, President Barbie. I was like, to be acknowledged as that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I would be so flattered. Because it's like, they're literally,
it's cool.
It's a term of respect.
I know. And it was like, to me, I was like, that's the Barbie we needed.
Listen.
Yeah.
RIP to
Yeah.
what we don't have.
I know, but you know what? You'll always be our president. Thank you, Issa. Thank you for being here.
You're the best, Delina. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.